Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. How can I strengthen my faith when I feel disconnected? Subhanallah. We just exited the month of Ramadan now. So hopefully this question came in before Ramadan. But now, exiting Ramadan and approaching now the middle of the month of Shawwal, this is an important question for us to ask, especially in a different context, and that would be, how do we nurture and maintain what Allah had blessed us with in Ramadan to have a better connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going forward until next Ramadan? And there's many ways to answer this question, but I would like to address this in light of the recommendation in the Hadith Qudsi of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, wherein he says to us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Man aada li waliyan faqad adhantuhu bil harb." Whosoever harms a friend of mine, I declare war upon that person. وَمَا تَقَرَّبَ إِلَيَّ عَبْدِي بِشَيْءٍ إِلَّا بِمَا افْتَرَضْتُ عَلَيْهِ. And no servant draws close to me with anything except that which I, Allah, had made obligatory upon that servant. ثُمَّ يَتَقَرَّبُ إِلَيَّ بِالنَّوَافِلِ حَتَّى أَحْبَبْتُ. Then the servant continues to draw closer to me with supererogatory acts until I love that servant. فَإِذَا أَحْبَبْتُهُ فَكُنْتُ سَمْعَهُ الَّذِي يَسْمَعُ بِهَا. When I love that servant, I become the ears with which they hear. وَبَصَّرَهُ الَّذِي يُبْصِرُ بِهَا. I become the eyes with which they see. وَيَدَهُ الَّتِي يَبْطِشُ بِهَا. I become the hand with which they grasp. وَرِجْلَهُ الَّتِي يَمْشِي بِهَا أو يَمْشِي بِهَا. And I become the feet with which they walk. وَإِذَا اسْتَعَاذَنِي. And when they seek refuge from me, I give them refuge. وَإِذَا سَأَلَنِي. When they ask me, then I grant their request. Which is, أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام, it's basically the hadith. Now in this hadith is actually a step-by-step pathway to Allah. A step-by-step pathway to salvation. And if we were to follow it, we could base our entire lives on it. The first instruction that the hadith teaches us is, don't harm the friends of Allah. Man aada li waliyan faqad adhantuhu bil harb. Whosoever harms, man aada li, whosoever transgresses against a friend of mine, faqad adhantuhu bil harb. I declare war upon that person. There's no other place in the Sharia where Allah declares war upon people except for this and those who indulge in riba. So in other words, the first rule on the path to Allah is don't harm those who are already on the path to Allah. And for us as Muslims, we don't know who of our brothers and sisters are friends of Allah. So don't harm any Muslim. In fact, don't harm any human being. But ideally, first and foremost, don't harm your fellow believers. First, do no harm. Second, the hadith states, وَمَا تَقَرَّبَ إِلَيَّ عَبْدِي بِشَيْءٍ إِلَّا بِمَا افْتَرَضْتُ عَلَيْهِ. A servant can't draw close to me with anything other than what I, Allah, had made obligatory upon that servant. Allah is Rabbul Alameen, and Rabbul Alameen designed a program for life. And that program consists of beliefs, a set of do's and don'ts, and characteristics. The beliefs we're clear on. The do's and don'ts consist of halal and haram, wajib, makruh, mubah, etc. And the set of characteristics is the model of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You must have all three. But first, do no harm. And then you can't possibly draw closer to Allah with anything except that which Allah had made obligatory. So the obligatory belief, that's Islam, Iman. The obligatory practice is Islam, the practice of Islam, and then the obligatory characteristics. When it comes to the laws, there's two parts to the law that you need to know and implement. The first part is stay away from haram. Stay away from haram. That's the most important. Then the second part is ensure that you do everything that has been made compulsory, fard. And this here is encompassed in this second part of the hadith. وَمَا تَقَرَّبَ إِلَيَّ عَبْدِي بِشَيْءٍ إِلَّا بِمَا افْتَرَضْتُ عَلَيْهِ. A servant can't draw close to me with anything except that which I, Allah, had made obligatory upon that servant. We can't invent our path to Allah. Allah is Rabbul Alameen, designed a path to Him. And his path is perfect. So we don't come up with our own concoction of ideas, philosophies, and practices of worship, and then offer that to Allah and expect Allah to make us close to Him accordingly. No, we said stay away from haram, make your salah, pay your zakah, fast in the month of Ramadan, perform your hajj, stay away from riba, this, that, and the other, and make sure that you are kind to your neighbors, kind to these people, kind, etc. Show your good character. That's how you draw close to Allah. ثُمَّ يَتَقَرَّبُ إِلَيَّ بِالنَّوَافِلِ. Then the servant can continue to draw closer to me with supererogatory acts. Now you can start speaking about extra worship, whether that be your additional Quran recitation, your additional adhkar, your additional nawafil, salah. It can be your da'wah ila Allah. It can be your learning and teaching. It can be whatever supererogatory acts. You decide your path to God, but it comes after what God made obligatory. And then when you are consistent upon that, staying away from haram, doing what Allah made obligatory, and adorning yourself with as much sunnah as you can be consistent with. Hatta ahbabtu. The next part of the hadith says, he does so until I love him. فَإِذَا أَحْبَبْتُ, and when I love him. And then Allah elaborates in this hadith Qudsi, I become his ears, his eyes, his hands, his feet. What does that mean? While some have looked at this in a very pantheistic way, our understanding in Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah is that this person is absorbed in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everything they do, before they do it, they are conscious of the fact that Allah is watching me, Allah is with me, Allah sees me, Allah knows of what I'm doing. Is this appropriate to do, considering all of that? Can my hand touch, knowing that Allah is all-knowing and all-seeing and all-hearing? Can my feet walk there, knowing that Allah is aware of me? Can my eyes look there? Can my tongue say this? Can my ears listen to this, knowing that Allah is monitoring me in every moment of every day of my life? That type of consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that there is when Allah has now protected this person, and as this person has become a wali of Allah. Furthermore, the hadith explains that when this person asks Allah, Allah grants. When this person seeks refuge from Allah, Allah gives refuge. So therein, I believe, is a recipe for us to maintain, as the question read, and strengthen faith when you feel disconnected. Check your list. Are you harming your fellow believers? Fix that first. Then, are you neglecting Allah's laws? Are you doing haram? Get rid of that first. Then, are you doing everything that is fard, obligatory upon you? Do that first. Then, do you have sunnah in your life? How much sunnah? What avenues have you taken to Allah? Bring that in and be consistent, and let that lead you to a point of loving Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, and hopefully wilaya. Jazakumullahu khairan. Until next time, inshaAllah ta'ala. Please do send in your questions to seekersguidance.org, the answer service, and we'll add your questions that you've added to the comment section to our upcoming list as well. Barakallahu li wa lakum wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Subhanallahi wa bihamdi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.